Hawaii, where a 6.2 magnitude earthquake hit off the eastern coast of the Big Island.
Very serious situation here in Hawaii earlier this evening.
A massive earthquake off the west coast triggering a tsunami warning for Hawaii.
Every year, thousands of earthquakes strike the state of Hawaii. They are triggered either by explosive processes within active volcanoes or deep structural changes caused by the weight of the islands on the Earth's underlying crust. Many tremor signals were detected by the Hawaiian Volcano Observatory after Japan's terrific earthquake on Thursday. The quake in Hawaii happened quite suddenly and shockingly, as the government and the inhabitants weren't prepared for such chaos. What could cause these natural hazards? What safety measures should be adopted? Join us as we give detailed information on the Hawaiian earthquake. Strange earthquake hits Hawaii.
This is 26 miles to the south-southwest of Hilo, Hawaii.
A shocking quake hit the state of Hawaii early today, with a magnitude 5.1 earthquake on the Big Island. It was widely felt, but there have been no reports of damage or victims. The tremor came as a shock to the inhabitants because it was not due to any volcanic activity, but relatively a climate issue. According to the Hawaiian Volcano Observatory, the earthquake struck at 5:54 p.m. near the Kilauea volcano at a depth of 1 mile, 1.6 kilometers below sea level. The first quake and a magnitude 3.0 aftershock were not caused by volcanic activity, but there will almost certainly be more aftershocks, some of which will be felt locally. The officials also indicated that there was no danger of a tsunami. However, hundreds of individuals across the island reported feeling tremors. A large number of earthquakes occur in the state of Hawaii yearly. They are created by eruptive processes within active volcanoes on the Earth's underlying crust. Most are so small that only sensitive sensors known as seismometers can detect them. Some of them are powerful enough to be felt on one or more of the islands. A few big earthquakes produce significant damage that makes a considerable impact on populations throughout the state. The vast majority of earthquakes in Hawaii occur on and around the island of Hawaii, particularly in the southern districts of the island, where the most active volcanoes in the state are located like Kilauea, Mauna Loa, and Kamaihu Loa, previously Loihi Seamount. The majority of these earthquakes are caused by lava moving within volcanoes, collecting in shallow reservoirs, or discharging at their summits or rift zones. Other earthquakes occur along critical points in the crust and upper mantle. Since 1823, the state of Hawaii has averaged roughly 100 magnitude 3, M3, or bigger earthquakes each year, 10 M4 or greater earthquakes, and 1 M5 or more earthquake. Furthermore, the state experiences 1 M6 or bigger earthquake every 10 years on average, and 2 M7 or greater earthquakes per 100 years. Hawaiian earthquakes are classified into 3 types based on their depth, location, and what causes it. Volcanic. Limestone flow and explosion from Hawaii's currently active volcanoes such as Kilauea, Mauna Loa, Hualalai, Haleakala, and Kamaihu Loa are typically followed by hundreds to thousands of minor earthquakes, with magnitudes less than 4. They are formed in ash storage zones or along magma's roots as they move upward or laterally in preparation for an eruption. Volcanic earthquakes, as they are commonly known, are vital for monitoring volcano activity. Tectonic. This second class of quivering points in Hawaii are earthquakes caused by sliding along tectonic faults. There are 2 major kinds, minor to moderate earthquakes and large flank earthquakes. Minor to moderate earthquakes, up to M5, occur beneath and within volcanoes on upper crustal faults. In Hawaii, this is the most common type of earthquake. Large flank earthquakes, up to M8, happen along the abruption point, which separates the old oceanic crust from the overlying volcanoes at a depth of 8 to 10 kilometers, 5 to 6 miles. Because both major earthquakes and local tsunamis originate in Hawaii, these are the most deadly kind of earthquakes. The 1868 M7.9 Ka and 1975 M7.7 Kalapana earthquakes were both caused by this fault plane. Slow slip quakes occur along the eruption on Kilaue's south flank as well, with its movements lasting days rather than seconds. Mantle. The third type of Hawaiian earthquake is caused by the weight of the islands above straining against the Earth's surface and upper mantle, known as the lithosphere. This is the most typical cause of destructive earthquakes north of Hawaii. This type of earthquake usually happens more than 20 kilometers, 12 miles, below sea level. Lithospheric bending caused the 2006 M6.9 Kolobe earthquake, as well as the 1973 M6.2 Onomu earthquake. Previous Hawaiian earthquakes. A massive earthquake struck in 1868 and was estimated to have a magnitude of 7.9. The distribution and degree of damage limit the magnitude and center location of the quake. However, due to the region's low population at the time, neither the magnitude nor the precise site are known. The central point was around 5 kilometers to the north or northeast of Pahala. It was most likely triggered by a slide on a near horizontal plane around 6 miles, 9.5 kilometers, beneath the surface, as do the majority of larger earthquakes in Hawaii. Many of Hawaii's thousands of earthquakes, including these larger ones, are triggered by seaward migration of the island's south flank. A magnitude 5.1 earthquake struck the Big Island of Hawaii in December 2023, but there were no reports of damage or casualties. According to the Hawaiian Volcano Observatory, the earthquake struck at 5:54 p.m. near the Kilauea volcano at a depth of 1 mile, 1.6 kilometers, below sea level. According to the statement, the first quake and a magnitude 3.0 aftershock were not caused by volcanic activity. The observatory stated that there will almost certainly be more aftershocks, some of which will be felt locally. But there are no detectable changes in activity at Kilauea as a result of these earthquakes. Officials also indicated there was no danger of a tsunami. Hundreds of individuals across the island reported feeling tremors. A powerful shock that took place past 7 a.m. on June 8, 2017, awakened several island of Hawaii inhabitants. A magnitude 5.3 earthquake struck Hawaii, the largest in almost a decade, causing this natural wake-up call. People on the island reported hearing a roaring or rumbling sound as ground-breaking waves shook their homes, shaking objects on walls and shelves. Almost 1,000 people submitted earthquake-felt reports via the USGS website. Submissions came in from as far away as the leeward shore of Oahu, which is 500 kilometers, 310 miles away. Several reports of mild shaking were received by the USGS Hawaiian Volcano Observatory, HVO, from across Hawaii's island. From Volcano to Hilo, there were other reports of minor damage, including a small rockfall on the Chain of Craters Road in Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. The data from Did You Feel It? DYFI reports is converted into felt intensity, which summarizes what people feel during an earthquake. The USGS also uses powerful motion accelerometers to record the severity of ground shaking. A USGS program called ShakeMap depicts the global distribution of these depths. To construct a picture of shaking, for each earthquake, the maps integrate quantitative data from seismometers and qualitative data from DYFI felt reports. This data helps with post-disaster response and earthquake risk reduction. The strongest ground vibrations in the June 8th earthquake equated to a maximum intensity of 6 on the modified Mercalli intensity scale. A 6 intensity number indicates that everyone felt intense shaking, and that moderate damage occurred in the earthquake's region. This was the most powerful earthquake recorded in Hawaii since the Keholo Bay and Mahukona earthquake sequence in 2006. Instruments near the June 8th earthquake's epicenter reported maximum accelerations of 0.16 gram, which is 16% as strong as Earth's gravitational pull. As tremulous waves pass, accelerations change up and down. If the earthquake had been stronger, more than magnitude 6.0, the acceleration would have been greater than 1 gram, or 100 times Earth's gravity. When this happens, objects might be lifted off the ground for a brief duration. Such jumping rocks have been witnessed after previous major earthquakes on the Hawaiian island of Oahu. The June 8th earthquake occurred at a depth of 7 kilometers (4 miles) beneath the south flank of Kilauea Volcano, just above the point that separates the old oceanic crust from the younger volcanic rocks that make up the island. When the large volcanic pile shifts relatively close to the oceanic crust, tremors along this point occur. The largest documented Hawaiian earthquakes, including the disastrous magnitude 7.9 and 7.7 events in 1868 and 1975, have occurred along this interaction. How Japan's earthquake affects Hawaii. According to the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, there is no tsunami hazard to Hawaii as a result of a series of severe earthquakes in Japan. However, following the quakes in the Sea of Japan, Japan issued tsunami warnings nonetheless. The effect of Japan's earthquake sent groundbreaking waves to locations in Hawaii that are closer to the epicenter. At this time, the Japan Meteorological Agency had reduced all tsunami warnings issued along the Sea of Japan to advisories. Officials are warning locals to be on the lookout for further possible earthquakes. The quakes, the greatest of which had a magnitude of 7.6, sparked a fire and destroyed structures on Japan's main island, Honshu. It was unclear how many individuals were deceased or passed away. Rescue workers are combing through the rubble for survival. The agency first recorded quakes off the coast of Ishikawa and adjacent prefectures in western Japan shortly after 4 p.m. on Monday. It initially issued a major tsunami warning for Ishikawa, as well as lower-level tsunami warnings or advisories for the rest of Honshu's western coast and the northernmost of its main islands, Hokkaido. Several hours later, the warning was downgraded to a standard tsunami warning, implying that the waters might potentially reach 3 meters, 10 feet. It is possible that aftershocks will strike the same area in the next few days. NHK TV, Japan's state broadcaster, warned that torrents of water could reach 5 meters, 16.5 feet, in height, and that tsunami waves could return. There were also tsunami warnings issued for regions of North Korea and Russia. The government spokesman stated on Monday that nuclear reactors in the impacted area had not reported any anomalies.
The first waves that hit are often not the biggest. People are also being warned that there may be a following earthquake.
Nuclear regulators stated that no increases in radiation levels were detected at the region's monitoring stations. How the Alaska tsunami relates to Hawaii. An 8.2 magnitude earthquake struck south of Alaska late Wednesday evening local time in July 2021, causing the U.S. to issue tsunami warnings for the peninsula and other coastal locations, which were later revoked. The National Tsunami Warning Center in the United States asked residents to evacuate. According to scientists, a magnitude 8 or higher earthquake occurs only once every year, on average anywhere in the world. The earthquake happened near the Aleutian Trench, which is part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. And scientists estimate that the aftershocks will be felt soon in Hawaii and the U.S. Pacific territory of Guam and the Northern Mariana Islands. The earthquake struck 75 miles southeast of the Alaskan city of Chignik and had a depth of 20 miles, according to the U.S. Tsunami Warning System. Videos on social media showed sirens blaring through the streets of Alaska. While authorities first advised certain inhabitants, including those in the city of Kodiak, to evacuate the area and seek higher ground, the threat was eventually lowered. The Alaska Earthquake Center states that aftershocks have occurred and are expected to continue, and other significant events will be revealed too. The tsunami warning was downgraded to an advisory for some locations until the all-clear was issued early Thursday morning local time. Tsunamis can travel across oceans at the speed of a jet airplane and are typically difficult to anticipate, since they do not manifest physically until close to shore, where water is shallow. Authorities in New Zealand later revised their estimate, saying they did not expect any flooding on land, although local media reported that they were still assessing whether further tsunami effects would be felt offshore. Thousands of people were evacuated from coastal communities in earthquake-prone New Zealand in March after a string of earthquakes measuring up to 8.1 magnitude slammed the country's northeast. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami was produced by a 9.1 magnitude earthquake that lifted a 1,200-kilometer, approximately 745-mile length of the seafloor by several meters, displacing a massive volume of water that surged inland for miles in some areas. More than 200,000 people kicked the bucket. Another shocking thing happening right now is the James Webb Space Telescope's launch of its brand new JWST Special Edition phone cases. You can get yours by clicking the link on the screen or following the link in the description. What are your views on the earthquake on Hawaii? Leave your comment below in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more related content.